Welcome to Scarecrow Miniature Painting. I'm Steven, and today we are going to continue work on our Dwarf Clerics. We got this one, and we have this one. So with this one, we have the belt and the chainmail to do, as well as the metal guards and bands for him. We're going to do the bands in a mixture of orange, brown, and smoke to give more of a red leather look. And then on this one we have the breastplate, the metal on the hands, the rest of the hammer, the belt we are also going to do in that smoke, and then we have the blues on the pants right there with him. We have the chainmail on this one we are also going to do in blue. So I'm just looking over the figure, making sure that there's nothing that needs to be touched up with the base coats that we did yesterday. So now that those are both good, we're going to do we're going to begin work on our non-metallic metals. Now, I say begin work because non-metallic metals takes time. There's a lot of blending. There's a lot of knowing of light. And knowing how light reflects off metal. But as for a color palette, what we're going to be using today is dark stone like we did with the boots, uniform gray like we did with the beard and the hair, and then we are going to use mummy robes as a top highlight in white, and then we're also going to use a mad white to do the final bits that I call them. It's going to be lining it up correctly. So when I do non-metallic metals, I start with the darks. So I touch up anything that I want to have a dark reflective surface. First, like so. So, if you're watching from home, you're seeing I'm just splashing this on periodically in random areas. There's a reason for that. So, with non-metallic metals, I'm trying to be extra careful over the design so that we know where to paint that as well when we get to that. But, as I was saying, with non-metallic metals, and metals in general, not every area is going to be bright on the same surface. The way light reflects off things is going to look different. And if you have anything that's in a natural shadow, that's obviously all going to be in the shadow. But it depends. So, for instance, how the hammerhead is turned, this all would be shadow, but that little bit underneath, wait for a a second. Might not be. So now I'm going to add my widest and brightest spots. Right now. And if you don't get this technique right the first time, because we may not even get this technique right the first time in this video, don't be discouraged. With non-metallic metals, it is one of the more difficult skills to learn. And it all has to deal with the techniques you use. Because blending is a big part in this. Like, see, this does not look fully metal, and we may even scrap it and go with an actual metal. Because I'm not entirely sure about how it's looking right now myself. And you know what? We will. That's the good thing about how I did this is I pretty much made it a wash. Now, I wanted to do a non-metallic metal. And I know that I wanted to teach you guys how to do it. Like I said, that this is not the end-all, be-all of non-metallic metals. So, once I become more skilled, we'll definitely go back to it. For sure. A little backstory as well. For work, for my 9 to 5, drove over 4 hours today. So I am a little tired. Now, what we're going to do though, since we're not going to do that non-metallic metal, is we're still going to make everything that is supposed to be metal. So for instance, the pants, everything like that. And I got a way to do that. I just have to get my metals out. No, we're not using iron. We are going to use gunmetal. And we are going to use, where is my gold? Nope, that was not it. I'm trying to go into my handy dandy box over here. Check. No, it's not in there. Ah, that's because it didn't come with that. Okay. So let me double check the bag and my other areas real quick. There we go. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for my gold. Actually, we're going to swap the gunmetal out for a plate mail metal. We're going to use greedy gold. Now, for the hammers, the actual hammer itself, we're still going to use that dark stone. So I'm just going to hit every bit of the hammer head in that dark stone. Now the reason we're doing dark stone is because we are still going to highlight it, but we are going to make it look like it is a stone hammer. And we're going to add chips to it. We're going to add some effects to it. Because I feel like I've cheated you guys out of what you came here for, so I'm just going to give you something a little bit extra. And I do apologize. It's just those 4-hour drives killed me mentally. Drained me, I should say. Mentally, and I'm just trying to make sure that I can give you the best quality painting that I can give you, even if that means just using regular metallics. So we are going to let that dry. So as you see, we're just going to do a dark stone. Now I'm going to put a second coat on there. And the pommel, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Like I said, we're going to do some mixtures. So I am going to add green skin, to our plate mail silver, and that should give us a little highlight as well. So anywhere where that would be touching, it is not a Scarecrow Miniatures painting video unless the camera falls. Anywhere, for instance, by the hand and those two right there, we will just do a quick touch up on those, and we'll use green skin with, what was it, plate mail silver, or plate mail metal, I should say, and it'll give us a nice green highlighted metal, and that's what we're going for with that. Similar to how we're going to be wanting to do the blues. So we are going to use a deep blue when we do that metal. And the reason being is you want one of your darker tones first. So when you go to do the highlighting, it's not as visible. So I'm just going to put some of that in there. I'm going to put a little bit of this. That's what I was afraid of. Okay. So once I mix that together, we should get some metallic tinge to that green. So what you just witnessed when I said that's what I was afraid of was a little bit of spillage in the cap. Army Painter has a great system where you have the ability to add these little mixing balls into your war paints, and other companies have them as well. It's just I typically use Army Painter, which is why I mentioned specifically them. I might need more green. Let's see what we got going on here. Once I add water. Where's mine? Okay. So I'm thinning down my paints just like I normally would. That's a pretty nice green. I was hoping for a little bit more vibrancy, but I can make that work. So I'm just barely touching the figure. The reason being because I don't want to get it anywhere else. But that pommel. And what I like about this is it gives almost an emerald look. That's what we got. Trying to let it focus. Just all the way around. That, and we're going to add a second layer. So as usual, you do want to add a second layer because we did thin down our paints. Now, I'll take it across this one. And once again, I do apologize for not doing a non-metal metallic. I don't believe my skill level is there yet, and I don't want to make you all think that it's done when it really isn't. But I am teaching you ways to mix your paints to give off different effects, such as this emerald effect. Now I'm just adding that to all of the overall little bits on the handle. So, he does have some smaller details. So we are going to accent with this green. Now this one is okay if you make a little bit of a mess. You can always go back and touch it up. Because this is somewhat of a base coat anyway. There we have it. We got our emerald on there. We're going to add a second base coat. No, I just added it on the inside of there as well. As you can see. Just want to mix it up a little bit more. Now that blue is going to be more vibrant, I feel, than this green. The green, the silver kind of took over. But that is fine. That stuff happens. That's why we do multiple coats. And that's why we can touch everything up. So we're actually going to do a quick touch up on this one as a matter of fact. I'm going to take some of that paint. We're just going to move it over. And there we have it so far. So the only thing left to do with this hammer, obviously besides highlights, is going to be the little indentions on the inside, and that's going to be made in gold. So we're going to hold off on the gold until the next video on him, because I want to start with that blue. So I'm going to mix the blue up with the silver, and this is what I meant by it's going to be a little bit more vibrant, and you're going to be able to see it a little bit better. Now, one thing to remember about this figure is that everything that has been done has been primarily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 colors. Because you got blue, you got yellow, you got gray, green. They're all different shades. And you got browns. So maybe just 4. So I'm just going to take some of my paint. I'm going to begin as such. Like that. And like I said, this will take multiple videos to do. Beyond this one and the one before. Because we are trying to, 1, broaden our skills as painters. And 2, to give good examples of what you can do on a figure to make it pop. So what I'm doing right now is I'm painting the inside ever so lightly. You won't be able to really see it on the figure, but you can see it in the back there. The reason being is because if I, for some reason, have it elevated in the air, I can see that at certain angles. So I'm just going to finish up with this blue. And with that, we are going to call the video complete for right now. In the next video, we will work on the golds. And we will touch up these little brackets with either blue or green. I'm not sure which one I want to do yet. But with that being said, please go ahead and like the channel, subscribe to it, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or not Twitter, TikTok. Become a member of our Patreon, and let's make the community grow, spread the word. Thank you, have a great day.